it's Pat Sloan here. So we're continuing today's celebrations of the whole month of celebrating our 10th anniversary of our Quilt Along with Pat Sloan group. So I had to wear one of the sweatshirts because it is cold. It's cold. We had exactly 5 minutes of snow flurries today, and now the sun is out, which is fabulous. The sun was out, it was gray, 5 minutes of snow flurries, sun is out. But it is cold and windy. So my floor is concrete, and so it tends to be difficult to keep it warm. So I have these great boots on today. I've got my fuzzy boots on, so they are keeping my feet warm. This is nice and toasty. I also got wool socks on. More than you wanted to know, right? Okay, I will actually link you to the wool socks because I am a huge fan of them. They also have like a reinforced toe area, so it takes a while before you sort of blow out the toe if you have that issue like I do. So anyway, I will link you to them. So today we have the drawing room. We're kicking off the Ambassador's Perfect 10 Quilt Along, and I want to tell you, I'm shifting the owls. There's just too much fun. We can't have all the fun on the same day. We have to spread it out a bit more. So I'm shifting the owls like 2 weeks. So we'll start the owls when we're done with drawing room. So the last Monday of the month, and then that'll balance it out a little bit better. So I can't handle that many things, all these things all on the same day. It's too much. It is also Publishers Day. That is a celebration day, Publishers Day. So my publisher is now C&T. They have 2 of my books in print. This is one of them, the Tabletopper book. And so you can get that. I want to show you one of the quotes from the Tabletopper book because it is blue and white. And I often will put this out on my table for January. So I actually think I've had the mittens on there for a while, so I think I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to this one just so I can enjoy both of them for the month. We're about the halfway mark, right? And for those of you who just are starting to do applique, whoops, we can turn them right side up. This sweet little bird is so easy and fun to do on here with your newfound applique skills. So you could try this guy out. Ta-da! All right, so tantalizing table toppers. If you have made something from my book, Tantalizing Table Toppers, I would love to see it today. So share anything you've made from this book. Remember, we did a quilt along from the book. So many of you have that. It can be a top. It can be just the blocks. You didn't get it together yet. Show them. Show them, show them, show them. And that's on my I Love to Make Quilts on the completed projects, prior projects. You can go and see the sampler we did from the book. All right, let's see. Let's do the drawing room. Okay, so the drawing room, we are winding up on this guy. Next week we'll close this one out, and I picked the border, but let me show you first my options, and I actually did a little clip. So here are the options. This is the little, looks like millefleur, like those little Italian beads, yeah. But if I do this one, I do have to cut it so that it is nice and even. We cannot have it all weird. It have to be straight. My least favorite probably, although it does bring all the blue out. That's what I was auditioning for, because that is these 2 are the darkest of the blue in the line, and so I don't think a light blue is it. That doesn't have the feel, even though I have like some light blue in there. That the rest of it is got that warm browns and blacks, and so it needs, for me, it needs a heavier border. So it really, like, I'll put my hand there. So see, one of those other borders. I am leaning to one of these, either the big floral or the paisley. And this is the paisley that has the brown in it. So I don't know, I'm really loving the paisley, but it reads kind of dense from a little bit of a distance, but this is actually going to be a quilt that's used. So when you're thinking about that, just because when you look at it on the wall and viewed through a camera, You know, my eye looking at it, I see the paisleys a lot more than looking through the camera or looking through looking at it if you took a photo, but it does give you the perspective back. So if it's a wall hanging that you're making and not a quilt to use, you want to look at those factors and see how it looks from a distance. As a quilt that would be used, this would be right up close with somebody. And you know, I am going to back it with, I think, the dark large version like this, and so I think I'm going to go with that one. I'll see if I can stand back and let this fall open. Hey, it's not going to be like Instagram worthy, but here we go. Here we go. Ta-da! So I took that paisley. There are 3 paisleys in drawing room, and I took the one that's the black background but also has blue and tan, just like the blocks. So this is, look how great this size is when you just do 9 blocks from this pattern. My border I cut 6 inches wide. So there it is. So I did a 6-inch wide border, and I ended up just piecing it. The paisleys are quite busy, and let's see, like right here, I pieced it. And so I think that with a really busy print like this, a dense busy print where you really don't see the background, that from even a little bit of a distance, you don't really even see those seams. And so it's a little bit, if you don't have the yardage to do like length of fabric for the borders, this is a great option for doing width of fabric and then sewing some together. So I am so happy with this. I will use one of the wide backs, and next week I'll show you which one. I'll pick one of the wide backs. I also, if you are not yet kind of checking out the community page here at YouTube, I put on the weekend, you know, which border. I had a bunch of the borders up there, like I showed you just now in that clip, but a lot of you got to have the fun this weekend of voting before I actually picked and sewed it on. So don't forget that's out there, because I'm putting more things on the YouTube community page because I think more of you see it, and those of you here who watch my videos are my most engaged audience. You know, you're the ones who are participating and doing all the things with me, my things. And so I just think it's fun to be able to share with you and chat with you on the community page here. Let's see. So I got something sort of big this week. Do I tell you the big thing now, or do I talk about the perfect 10 first? Maybe we do both. What if I tell you the big thing, we do the perfect 10, and then I remind you about the big thing, which I don't think you're gonna forget, but okay, so are you ready? Well, my friends at Sewing Parts Online, they are just amazing. And Brian wrote me, now if you watched the interview I did with them, Brian was one of the interviewers, and Brian is who I work with there. And so Brian wrote me and said, you know, he was so excited about the 10th anniversary, and could they participate in a giveaway? I'm like, yeah, let's say yes. So the Sewing Parts Online is giving away a Jubilant sewing machine. A sewing machine, my friends, a sewing machine. This is a US only. Remember, you know, most of my business partners are US companies, and so it is often just a US only. They also have the table there that goes around, that surround. Isn't that incredible? So what we're doing though is, since they're giving this away, it is at their website. So you will have to enter your email there, which then you'll get some emails from them. Of course, you'll be on their email list. And if you're already on your email list, that they know that, so you can just enter anyways, because I know a lot of you already get their emails, but you'll be going to their website to enter. And this will go through the end of the month, through the last day of January, you can have to enter. So if you're watching this, you know, a week later, because you've been on vacation in the Caribbean, and I'm so jealous, and you're just now catching up on my videos, you can go to Sewing Parts Online and enter. The link is in the description box under my video. The link is in the pinned comment at this video. The link is also at my article today and will be at the pinned post at my Facebook group. And so you can find it in all of those places. I think I'll probably have it on Instagram as well. So but they're not clickable there. So, but you'll be able to see. So you have to go there and enter. So it'll be so fabulous. The Jubilant is awesome because we have through the end of the month. I will bring my Jubilant out one of these days and sort of walk you through a little bit on the features. When you go to the link, I'm going to give you also a link to the Jubilant machine so that you could go, and they have videos on their website. And it is such a great machine. It's a basic machine, but it has a lot of functions. It has like a blanket stitch and needle threader. And if you want a second machine, a lot of people love this as their second machine. They can take it on travel, like if they're going to retreats, or if you have a second home and you want to keep a little bit smaller machine there, you have an RV, all those kind of things. And it's also fabulous for people just starting out. Baby Lock has designed this level of machine for entry use, and it is so cool. So thank you to the partners there at Sewing Parts Online. They are incredible, and I know you all love purchasing from them. They are a high quality partner of mine, a high quality company. And so, okay, so there you go. Now the perfect 10. Perfect 10. Okay, let's go. Real quick, before the perfect 10, both of the winners of the Oliso irons have been contacted and emailed me back. And so I put their names on the link page where the giveaway was. And there's a large yellow iron going to one of our friends and the small mini darling pistachio going to another of our friends. And so that is all taken care of. We still have the Aurifil thread and the batting from Warm Company. So you can enter both of those. The links to both of those are in the description box and at my website today. Here is the Perfect 10 book. The ambassadors that I have for my community decided that they wanted to do a Perfect 10 quilt along, and they would kind of host it via me. So they are the drivers of this, but I'm giving you all the information. And so this is the book, The Perfect 10, and the 10 is a layer cake, which are 10-inch squares. And so they're called 10 squares. There are a bunch of different names out there, but it's a stack of 10-inch squares. And so each of these quilts I think most of them use just one layer cake plus background fabric. So this is the book, and you could pick anything you want out of it. So many of you own this book, so it's really easy. So many of you own layer cakes that maybe you haven't dug into, and you'll see the ambassadors are using some that they've had for a long time. Or you might just have fabric. Do you have some fabric? I think maybe you have a little fabric, right? You can just use the fabric you have and cut 10-inch squares. So that's kind of where I am. I am using the horse fabrics that were sent by you. And so I am doing French vanilla. Let me hold on there, hold on. Okay, this is the one I'm doing, the French vanilla. And I have done one of these in the past. I love it, it's very effective. And my blocks, each of these 4 blocks has one of these fabrics. So here you go. You can see, well, let's put it where they're not right next to each other. Okay, so you can see here, I've got it in this position, this position. You can see the yellow one best. That's why I wanted to show you this grouping. I think I can gonna move my camera back. There we go. Yeah, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you cut the layer cake into those 4 shapes, then I just rotated them around. I did the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just be sure that you got one in each spot. And then for the directional stuff, my quilt, this quilt has this row, they're all the same direction. This row, they're rotated a bit. So I will do some of them rotated a bit so that I can have some variety. And because of the way it's cutting, this rectangle, this horizontal rectangle can go here, or it can go in the position that ends up, or it can go here or in the position that ends up here. So it can go either way. What I want to do is show you what the ambassadors are going to be working on. Let's take a look. We're going to start with a very springy line that Barbara is using called Sunnyside Up. And there she has pulled a few other fabrics to go with the layer cake. The peach fabric underneath is not part of it. And I can't wait to see her blocks. Carrie is working with a line called Merry Little Christmas. So she has a wonderful Christmas quilt started. There's some grays and turquoises with the houses. So darling. Kathy's is this awesome fabric line by Warnina Designs, and she used that really incredible red as the sashings. It is stunning. Now Kendall is using some basics from his Quilting Basics website, and so if those of you I know that are in other countries outside the US often order my fabrics from Kendall. So he is using a really great spring fabrics from his line, from the lines that he carries in his store, so you can go check that out. Laura has pulled out one of her vintage sewing machines. This one is named Beverly, so she's going to be sewing on Beverly, and she has got the Love Struck line. Look at the word love up there. So nice. Melissa has these gorgeous batiks and other fabrics from her fabric stash, and they are just gorgeous on that dark background. Beautiful. Suzanne pulled a layer cake that she's had for a while called Tranquility, and look at that stack of everything ready to go. Just ready to go. I love it. And Yvonne has a whole lot of this pink fabric. This is what she told us. She says quite a large piece of pink fabric, and she wants to use it, and so she decided to use my Promise Me and have the pink fabric, and she's going to be setting them together with that tiny little sashing and cornerstones. Isn't that amazing? The Promise Me looks so good. Now the ambassadors have some layer cake picks. So here's a few. This week I'm showing you Suzanne's picks. So she has cranberries and cream. Wouldn't that make a gorgeous layer cake Valentine or add to your red and white quilt collections? Hop Hop Hooray. This has got the most awesome little folk art bunnies and flowers. It is just so pretty. For those of you who love to do something with some bunnies on it, there's a line. This is a little bit different. Peach and rust in it. And then we have Peachy Keen, another really spring-like line with blues and greens and peaches. You know, Peachy Keen, you got to have peach. So there you go. There's the start of our Perfect 10 from the ambassadors. Let's take a little look at how I was fussy cutting for these Perfect 10 blocks with my directional fabric. So these prints are all large. Well, not all of them. You know, here's one that's not large. That's a great one, and you know, they're all great, but there's one that's not too large. You're going to have to look at stuff upside down because I'm working. It's facing me. So these, though, are large. They're spread out, and so I can't just use the formula in the book. I have to cut the pieces individually so that I get something interesting. I don't get like a strip here that's all snow and no horses. You know, I just want all the horses. But look at this. The sweet quilter that sent this one to me. Caution, there's a hole. There's a hole right there in this. Thank you for the note. So I've got, like, this is going to be the bigger square. I'm doing the French vanilla, and so it has 4 units cut from the layer cake piece. So I have a big square, and then I have to find, like, do I want to do, like, this is a great scene. Okay, let me just turn it around so you can see it a little better. Okay, so this is a great scene right here where I could do the strip that goes across, like the horizontal strip like this, because I like to have, you know, the horses. So I could do the horizontal strip here. And you know, when you're fussy cutting, you are going to have a little waste. You're going to. It's just the way. See here, like I went, you know, when I was cutting, I went past. So just be sure when you are cutting other pieces that you take this into account. You know, so I don't want to think that this is my edge and I've got like a full, almost a full 1/4 inch cut right there. Okay, so if I want to get all of these, if I want to get these 3, I can't get all 4. It's just not wide enough for what I'm doing. So I'm going to get, I can't even get all 3. I can get all 3 a little bit. Okay, I'm going to have a little bit of edge over here on this one, so I don't want to totally cut her face off. There we go. So I'm just kind of getting myself a little groove here, a little place to work, and then now I can cut the other. So this takes a little bit more time than if I was just using a layer cake and cutting. You know, just having a layer cake and cut like the pattern says, the formula. I can't do that when I'm fussy cutting and trying to get these big open scattered images. But there is the horizontal. Then I will do the same thing for a vertical. I will look to see where is there a nice vertical, like over here. I happen to do on this one because I like that kitty sitting there. So I've got the horse, I've got a dog down there. So I purposely cut something pretty. And like here on the vertical is a really nice horse sort of running. I'm not a horse person, so I don't know a whole lot about what I'm doing here. I'm just looking at images. So you might be going, well, I wouldn't do that if you're a horse person, like our ambassador Yvonne, but hopefully I'm not messing it up too much. I'm just gonna cut this and then I can subcut afterwards. See this guy, he looks like gorgeous, just, you know, charging through the snow. This will be so pretty. See that? So then I've got that one, and then I just need a square. So the squares are easy enough, but what I want to do here is look to see, you know, what kind of, you know, pieces like do I have chopped up. Like down here, I don't really want like the horse butt. You know, like this piece would be pretty much just the horse's rear end. And you know, that's just not what I want. I prefer to have their face. So because we have this hole over here that we want to avoid, this actually would be a really great one to take. Take this guy here, and I might end up with the nose of another one. Okay, so I'm just kind of working it until I get something that looks great. Okay, there we go. And that's how, there we go. There's that one. So this is how I am handling all of them. I'll look at the scraps will go in the scrap bag because that goes to people who use those. So from this one, let me see. Can I pull out? Yeah. So here's the whole width of fabric, and no, it's not. Here's the salvage down here. So I was cutting along the length. So I just cut some sections out. You know, got everything I need. So that's another group of them. So the goal is to go about 6 weeks with this, try to make about 6 blocks a week. Or if you want to do eight fabrics, that'll be 8 blocks a week. That might work for you. I did 8 blocks. Well, I didn't quite finish. I cut 8 blocks. And so I've got a whole bunch more cut. And here's one of them sewn up. So see, I love the red in there. Yeah, look at that. So almost all of these fabrics were sent to me from all of you. Okay, so the last thing to remind you, get in on winning a Jubilant sewing machine. So exciting. I'm so thankful to Sewing Parts Online for donating this machine to give away to someone in my community. So awesome. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.